ISUPK founders taught Gentile salvation. It's true, y'all. ISUPK taught Gentile salvation. So we want to ask ourselves, wait a cotton picking minute. What is the outrage for if we're just going back to the original One West? What is the outrage for if we're just reverting back to the original One West doctrine? For this chat, so the video we did on Friday, we allowed you guys to speak with so much vitriol to us in the comments. Today, we're not doing that. So moderators, if it gets insulting, spamming, just put them in timeout for 24 hours. This is not Friday's class. Me and Hassad talked to Gorilla Hebrew last night on the phone for 3 hours. Me and Gorilla Hebrew talked on the phone for 3 hours last night with Hassad. And I gotta say this, it was good. I felt good. We laughed, we joked. The reason that I can do that and not be a hypocrite is because I never dragged him publicly outside of, and that wasn't even a drag. I responded one time to Gorilla Hebrew in full. That was when all the evidence and his confession first came out. But all you other individuals, he told me, calling him, do something. You got to get Genesis. Only you can do it. He's not helping you guys. You guys, and when I say you guys, I mean like the shepherds, not the sheep. Well, some of the sheep was trying to rally Gorilla Hebrew against us. Just address a few things. I want to let you guys know this. I don't have to give my energy to negativity. I don't have to respond to every single claim, accusation, allegation, lie, slander, or gossip or drama on YouTube. I don't have to. So I'm doing this because we spoke last night, and I think that was all of the power of the Most High God for us to speak. And I did say that we should speak more often. Gorilla Hebrew made a claim that, first of all, this was funny. We laughed about this. We did laugh about these graphics here. And that was funny. The notion that I myself am doing this to get white women when I have 3 beautiful black wives and so many beautiful black children is preposterous, asinine, and just outright ridiculous. We believe that the law of Torah says you can have a concubine. Why would I teach Gentile salvation to get a white woman when I believe that the law says you can have a concubine? Now, we don't suggest brothers, deal with other women, but it wouldn't be, other women of the other nations, but it would not be a law against it. Sakari knows that, teaches that, and a lot of other camps do too. It's a law. If I want to get a concubine, I can get one. I don't need to teach Gentile salvation for that. They said it was about money. Look at somebody said, Deacon, you said many times, if I ever wanted to get rich, I'm going to teach all nations can be saved. One thing I did joke around about was if I was to teach Christianity. That's what I mean. If I was to teach Christianity, Christianity does not teach what we teach. And this guy right here, Silverback Banana Scripts, he's such a flip-flop supporter. All the camps believe he's John the Baptist and Elijah. And it's crazy because ISUPK says John the Baptist was not in the truth. So Elijah was not in the truth. So Abba Bivens was not in the truth, but he taught the 7 so somebody who was not in the truth taught the 7 who then started the truth. Come on now. You follow that? You follow him? You follow that? What are we talking about? Let's go into his book. So this book is Marks of a Lost Race, from the 40s, from late 40s to the early 50s. Marks of a Lost Race. Let's take a look at him teaching Gentile salvation, and then we're going to go into YAHAWAH and YAHAWAH's book, and they taught Gentile salvation as well. Now, do I know the extent of their soteriology? No, not necessarily, because they don't talk about it extensively, but we know what we teach, so we can't say they're teaching exactly what we teach. 11. On page 11, I'll put the PDF to both all these books in the description box, and we can show where the doctrine changed at. And some could venture to say, now, I don't know if any of the elders are watching, but any of the elders, can you tell me when somebody said, why lie about Joel's room? I was in there. They talked not necessarily Joel, but other people talked all manner of evil against us in Joel's room. If there's an elder in here, can somebody tell me when General YAHAWAH came into power? When did General YAHAWAH came into power? Because we have another book from the mid-90s. 10 and 9. Look what this, on Marks of a Lost Race, page 11. Look at this. We find in Romans 10 and 9, Paul speaking to the natural Gentiles. He didn't say Israelite Gentiles. He said natural Gentiles.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Wakwakwedash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone. Shalom, shalom to the mighty Akim, Wakwathim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. This is Brother Kawakab coming at you with another lesson. Shalom to the speckled bird that may look like the other nations, but are actually Asherallah, which actually is very relevant to the topic of today, which my main topic, I guess I'm going to talk about, who can Gentiles be saved, quote unquote Gentiles. And the reason why I'm going to be talking about this is because basically that's really what I've been taught, or through, not necessarily I've been taught like directly, but through my understanding and through actually going into my own research and stuff like that. And when I say research, I mean like actually studying lessons. My understanding is that they are speckled birds. If a so-called quote unquote Gentile, like let's say you look, I'm trying to give me an example. I don't want to use the basic ones, but let's just use the basic ones. Blake Griffin. So over here, he looks red. Oh, actually, let's use a better example. Son. Blake Griffin's son, he look at his blonde hair. That looks like a literal Edomite kid. But yet he's not. This would be an example of someone that is a quote unquote Gentile, but is an actual Israelite. And this extends onto all the other nations and races as well, because there can be people that look like so-called Chinese, so-called Indian, so-called African, so-called European, whatever, all right, but they are actually Israelites, all right. And the thing about this is that I would still say that Gentiles cannot be saved, quote unquote Gentiles cannot be saved, simply because when you say Gentiles can't be saved, you have to understand that. Let me actually get this first. What does the scripture say? John 4:22. We worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. So basically, salvation is for Israel. Israel is whom salvation is for, and to say otherwise it goes against the scriptures. Another thing that I heard that I saw in their video when they said, if let's say that they were saying something about, I don't want to go find it, and I don't want to explain it because it's so much. They were basically saying that it is logical to come to the conclusion that that we should just give Gentiles an opportunity, rather than if they are not Gentiles, then you're just turning people away. Well, that's also wrong, because you have to understand Slaki, you have to understand that, and I feel like Slaki, I'm not gonna insert anything or assume that they know or something like that, because I genuinely don't know. But as far as I understood, I thought that they would know that it does not matter. Your appearance is not important. It is your what's the word? Your I'm drawing a blank on the word. It's your bloodline. So if your father is, I'm pretty sure most camps do know that. I'm pretty sure most camps actually teach that, and they've said that, especially when it comes to like people that call themselves mixed or half and whatever, they say that my father is an Israelite, but my mother is white or whatever. Something. Okay, well then you're an Israelite and whatnot. But again, like there goes that issue, that problem of it's all about skin color. Why does it always go into that base mindset? And again, like it feels like, speaking as a man, okay, this is just my own observations. I feel like, I was about to say Sakari, but I guess it's not Sakari. But it's just these guys, Hassad and Deacon. I think he's still calling himself Deacon, but it's Hassad and Deacon that have been, I guess, taking a more guerrilla Hebrew as well, but in another way. But they've been taking a more carnal approach of, let me just, I don't know, baseify this or something like that. I don't know a better term, but it's in a sense of like him titling his videos, titling his videos. Where is it? Black Hebrew Israelites and stuff like that. Saying Black Hebrew, calling us in general, us Israelites, Hebrew Israelites, Black Hebrew Israelites, and using that terminology, which is like, if you're supposed to be a big name, quote unquote, to Israelites, and Israelites are supposed to know you and stuff like that, and you're over here calling yourself or calling us in general so-called Black Hebrew Israelites. Like, why? Like, I genuinely don't understand. It's kind of like, or not necessarily that he's calling himself that. I feel like it's more so he is using terminology to kind of distance himself from it in general. And again, I'm not definitively saying this. I'm just saying that this is my own impression from watching and hearing about all these different stuff, where like this is the behavior, this is the mindset, this is the impression that you're giving off by having these types of discussions that lead into this types of framing these terminologies out to be. All right, so that was just something that I thought I definitely had to point out and stuff like that. But let's continue on. Romans chapter 16 verse 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause division and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them, for they that are such serve not our Lord YAHAWASHI and Mashiach, but their own belly, and by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple. And this is what we're seeing right now. And that's another thing. I hope you actually caught this, where this person said, let me just.
They said it was about money. Look at somebody said, Deacon, you said many times, if I ever wanted to get rich, I'm going to teach all nations can be saved. One thing I did joke around about was if I was to teach Christianity.
And I honestly feel like that's just such a stupid cop-out BS type thing. It's like, what do you mean if you... Slocky, it's just so hard to like fathom. Like, why would you say if you were to teach Christianity? Like, it's damn near the same thing. And honestly, like at this point, you're basically teaching Christianity. All right, you're basically teaching it. Like, what's the difference between Christianity and just that you're keeping the laws and stuff like that? Like, okay, like and I'm not even trying to. I'm not even trying to get into this whole terminology battle and stuff like that. This word battle, because we all obviously we know or have a very comprehensive understanding of what actually differentiates between a Christian when we say Christian, because the actual term Christian is supposed to be Israelite. Israelite is already a Christian. It's a derogatory term. It's like the N word for so-called black people, but the Christian is just for Christian is for Israelites that followed after Yahawashai. That's basically the true definition, but Esau has taken that and repurposed it to mean what we know Christianity or Christian to be today, which is this pseudo follower of Hamashiach. Okay, and I think that's probably one of the best terms to use. All right, so it is technically, it's not fruitful to go into some sort of word battle of, the term Christian, but Yahawadah, you understand what I mean when I say Christian, and I separate the two. All right, but anyway, as I was saying, going back into it, where you have this whole thing of him wanting to make money, and I think I'm obviously I don't know the truth, but it's a good speculation. All right, where why is it that he is admitting that, yeah, I did say that, all right, but that was only for the specific term, but like it's only for specific conditions and stuff like that, where like, okay, well, maybe you just revamped it, maybe you repurposed, and well, now I want to teach Gentiles can be saved and whatnot, X, Y, and Z. And I was listening to some of it. I didn't listen to the whole thing, and it's just like, okay, so they're basically teaching, as far as far as from what I've seen, that basically teach the same thing. And if ever a Gentile wants to learn, all right, then they just let them in and whatnot. But the issue with that is that I think is you are setting a bad example, and you're misleading people. I think that's the best way to say it. You're misleading people. And what I mean by misleading is in the sense of, rather than just letting the people know and letting the people understand that, okay, this is what's going on, this is what's happening. The scriptures absolutely say that Israelites are the only ones that can receive salvation. You are over here opening it up. And again, it's like, what looks good on a title? What captures the most attention? What leads people to saying, I want to be with this, I want to be with these people, I'm looking for spiritual guidance and stuff like that. I'm a Christian, I'm a follower, I believe in the Bible, whatever. All right. And when you have stuff like this, that's where you get the people that will follow along and say, like, okay, well, I'm Chinese, or I'm white, or I'm African, I'm whatever. All right. So let me just, so this is a camp that I respect. So I'm going to go follow this because he's saying that I can be in it. When, the reality of it is the reality of it is that more times than not, they're probably just literally an Israelite returning onto their heritage. And it's like, you are doing this whole additional thing, which again, this is how you know that they don't have the truth. All right, because it's like, rather than just acknowledging and understanding that Israelites can look like other nations like Moab, Edom, whatever, you're doing this whole other thing in order to get being honest, get money. Like, what Slakia, what looks better on the title? All right. Oh, classes for everyone, anyone can join, whatnot, or Israelites only. All right, like these are the two options: Israelites only, or everyone can join, Gentiles and whatever. All right, like that's the thing. That's the issue. That's the problem where you have these people that are repurposing things for money. All right, it's always about money. All right, rather than just sticking to the truth for the sake of the truth. All right, they are going to fill their bellies, fill their pockets. All right. Now next, I'm over here drawing a blank because it's been so long. Oh yeah. Let me get that. It's Deuteronomy. I don't think it's 30. I think this is wrong. Yeah, this is wrong. Scattered. Bear with me one moment. Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 3, that then the Lord thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy power hath scattered thee. Slakia. Let me also get it was serve other gods or something like that. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 13. And the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above, shalt be above only, and thou shalt be beneath. If thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy power, I will command thee this day to observe and to do them, and thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve. Hold on, that's not it. Okay, here, Slakia. I don't know why I. Deuteronomy. Bear with me one moment. A moment. Slakia, Deuteronomy 28, verse 64, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, and from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other powers, other gods, Slakia, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Basically, the thing here is where we are going to be scattered, and over time, when you get, like, say for example, if I, as a so-called black man, all right, if I live in China and I get with a Chinese woman, and then we have a kid together, that kid's gonna come out looking like both of me and the Chinese woman. So that half-breed kid, all right, is gonna be a little lighter than me, have some features from his mother. Maybe his eyes are gonna look like his mom, all right. And then but he still is an Israelite. And as we showed the example with Blake Griffin, and then as time goes on, that kid, because I live in China, okay, he's gonna go and get with another Chinese woman, that boy, let's just say he's a boy, all right, then him with another so-called Chinese girl, full Chinese girl, let's just say for the sake of it, then that kid, my kid, has another kid with a full Chinese woman, and then, okay, so that kid's gonna, my grandkid is gonna look even more Chinese, and then as we keep on going, it's like, okay, well, if it's still a boy and whatnot, if we keep on having sons and whatnot, and then that boy, the kid, let's say it's my great grandson, all right, they're gonna look like a full-on Chinese kid. So that's where that whole that's where the quote-unquote Gentiles that can be saved, as well as, oh, now I remember the precept. It was over here in Romans 9.
to the Saudi Arabian consulate in a different country and cut them up into pieces with bone saw. There's even audio of it happening, right? And this has been proven that he's
As I was saying, Romans chapter 9, verse
someone who was talking trash about him, and he now obviously that's very un-American. Rule number
24, even us whom he hath called, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles, as he saith also in OC, I will call them my people, which were not my people, and her beloved, which was not beloved. Basically, the Gentiles also may receive deliverance, quote unquote, but said Gentiles, in as it's in verse 25, it says, as it says in OC. Let's actually get that.
messed up, right? And Donald Trump
Hosea
said, and I quote,
1.
things happen. People tell me that I'm overreacting when I say that these videos that I
In verse, let's just start at verse 2 and then we'll jump down. Hosea chapter 1, verse 2, the beginning of the word of the Lord by Hosea. And the Lord said unto Hosea, go take unto thee a wife of whoredoms and children of whoredoms, for the land hath committed great whoredoms, departing from the Lord. And basically he had kids, and then we go down, jump down to verse 10. You can read the rest yourself, by the way. But yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power. So basically, Israelite men taking heathen women as wives or concubines, whatever. Okay, as he did say, state properly, we are able to get with heathen women or non-Israelite women and whatnot as concubines or whatever. But as we do, when we have those kids are still going to be Israelites, okay, bloodline Israelites, regardless of. And that's the thing, because I've seen Israelite men have kids, and their kids come out looking like the woman completely, like Edomite. Oh, Blake Griffin is literally one of them. Slakia, he's out over here. Let's see, father. Blake Griffin's father, right there. You are not. You look at Slakia. That's crazy. But his father is so dark, and he looks exactly like his mother. Like stuff like this can literally happen. So it goes to show that it's not about your what you look like. You can't just say things from what you look like. It's about your bloodline. And again, I still, while it kind of seems like I'm agreeing with Genesis, it's not. That's not the case. It is more. It's more so on acknowledging that yes, we are Israelites, and this is only for Israelites. But anyone that looks like a heathen, but they follow the word, that's an Israelite. You can't just say that, because it's never about your appearance. It doesn't matter if I was so-called dark-skinned or white-skinned. It matters about my blood. Who's my father, my bloodline father. And if your bloodline father goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that's how you are an Israelite. All right? So, yeah, that's basically it. I pray this lesson was edifying. Gentiles cannot be saved. All right? Slacky about that whole rigmarole. I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, double honor to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, the bald bull, and shalom.